Hey there, it's me, Tobias. As you can see, it's turned completely white again. And this is Romek, my truly trusted and incredibly loyal companion. Rule number one.
Move! Lot movement!
I added handguards made from oil canisters, so I don't freeze my hands, since the motorcycle doesn't have heated grip. And I didn't add them before, since the manufacturer doesn't provide them. So I'm following suit and also won't do it. I hope you can see me clearly. Why ride in winter? And honestly, I don't know why ride in winter. For most people, riding a motorcycle is associated with sunshine and beautiful weather, and I think they're closer to someone who hikes in the mountains. And she struggles and says she'll never go to those damn mountains again because she's tired, she's freezing, it's cold. But then she comes home, and after a week she already wants to go again, to head out to the mountains once more. But silence. No, this makes no sense. First of all, it's called the officer's house in Borne Sulinowo. Secondly, it's slippery. First, the Germans had a casino here, and later, the Russians. They frequently drank vodka here. Thirdly, it is quite dangerous, but I still genuinely like it. This is an extraordinary building with a truly extraordinary history, but what you currently see here is the direct result of the significant destruction that took place over time. It's not the work of the Russians who were withdrawing, leaving in the 1990s from Poland, but of the Poles. This building actually has a ballroom, that large hall, which could accommodate even 1,000 people. This complex is unbelievably huge. It's a shame that year after year this building is becoming more and more damaged. Walking here, strolling around is basically getting less and less safe. One day it's eventually going to collapse. It's a pity. It's a shame that no one has any ideas to make this building as great as it was many years ago. You could really set up a seriously impressive one here. A hotel. After the party, a soldier could just walk down to the lake. This path leads straight to the lake. The lake is probably just over there. If it weren't for the fog, you could see it. A beautiful place with a wonderful history. It's a shame the ending is so sad. Sad. Like the snow. You can see these apartment blocks as soon as you enter Borne Sulinowo, coming in from the direction of Jastrowi. And in fact, they are the hallmark of this place. You see them from afar and already know what to expect as we enter Borne Sulinowo. And it's definitely worth coming here to spend a few days, a weekend, maybe even longer. There is no shortage of hotel accommodations here. It's peaceful if you value rest and quiet. You'll definitely find that kind of thing here. If you were wondering where Borne Sulinowo is, it's right here. Right here. Put on the map. Not far from Jastrowi. Not far from Szczecinek. In the province of... You can encounter Russians less and less often now. Although just a few years ago I was here in a shop run by Russians selling Russian products. So you could easily buy Russian halva, kvass or vodka. Is it still there? I'll check that in a moment. I'll go to the city center and see, but before I go to the center, I'll visit the Soviet soldiers' cemetery.
Apple trees and rubble cooperated. Dust clouds lifted over the river. Looking at an incredibly full over the
Unfortunately, the cemetery is closed. You used to be able to enter without any problem. Now the fence has been replaced, and unfortunately it's closed. And we hope you found the content engaging. We sincerely thank you for spending these moments with us and for being a valued part of our audience. First, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth. It took me 9 hours to get to Borne from Sulinowo. I thought that nothing in the city could surprise me anymore. Practically the entire Borne Sulinowo, the whole town, is built in the shape of a square all around. On each large square, there are 4 huge apartment blocks. And that's probably the most characteristic landscape in these buildings. These are barracks in these buildings. Once, soldiers used to live here, and in front of their homes, they had a parade ground. This is where they would gather. And here, probably I'm not an expert, but probably some morning drills, marching practice, speeches from officials, that's how it looked. I covered more than half the distance using the TomTom map and by choosing the exciting route, which allowed me to avoid the worst traffic and made it a bit safer. Although the road was more slippery, it wasn't salted, it wasn't like this one for example, but more like that one, it was slippery. And all of this meant that I was driving at a speed of 30 kilometers per hour. Halfway through, a snowstorm started and I got a bit scared at first. After all, I drove into fog. That last stretch, about 30 to 40 kilometers from Jastroy to Borne Sulinowo, was when things really got wild because I was soaked, freezing, and it was getting harder and harder to stay focused. Fortunately, I had navigation not the kind for motorcyclists who ride with gloves on. At least not with thick winter gloves, that's just not possible, there's no way. And I'm not trying to advertise anything here. But simply, in moments when the motorcycle brakes like a train that is practically not at all, it's good to know that there's a turn coming up in half a kilometer, because you can already start slowing down. This trip isn't a flight into space, it's not a trip to the moon, anything extraordinary. Many travelers ride all over the world. Such conditions are normal, and I myself have had the pleasure of traveling, yes, if not in worse conditions, because far away, that's my place, high up in the mountains. However, we definitely won't be comparing this trip to the journeys of guys who really do amazing things in winter conditions. We just ride around Poland so we can always escape home, leave the motorcycle at the station, so it's not really any great achievement. However, it's a great opportunity to remember those trips I used to take, and I did them in very tough conditions as well. And it definitively confirms that the comprehensive guide, which will very soon appear in the upcoming January issue, is still entirely up to date and simply works exceptionally well. Because we can write about absolutely anything, but we have to be absolutely sure that what you read is simply true and makes perfect sense.